Yo, what's good, YouTube family? Welcome to Leaks Legacy. Here again with another video for y'all. Today I want to talk about taking control of your emotions. I feel like in life there's two ways you can think. You can think from the heart. Didn't mean the middle finger, y'all. You can think from the heart, and you can think from the mind, right? And I feel like sometimes in life, our heart, our emotions, they cloud our judgment. You know what I'm saying? In life, sometimes we think with our heart rather than our mind, and we make bad decisions. And I'm not going to say that thinking with your heart is a bad thing, because it's not. You're supposed to follow your heart in this life. You feel me? However, I will say sometimes it's better to think with that mind. It's better to understand that, okay, some things are hurting me, so let me back off. Or understand that, okay, this isn't for me. Let me change directions. And the only way you can do that is if you stop thinking with your emotions and think with your mind. So now on Leaks Legacy, I talk about my life and how I can relate to these topics that I talk about. And so the first way I can relate to this topic is honestly when it comes to just people. I find myself people pleasing a lot. And that's like a whole nother topic in itself. I'm gonna dive into it. I feel like when it comes to life, I do a lot of things for others. And that's just the person I am. I'm a nice guy. You know what I'm saying? I like to help people. I like to make people feel accepted. I don't like to hurt people. And that's my heart thinking. You know what I'm saying? And that's a great thing to do. However, sometimes you realize that you helping others is sometimes holding you back from yourself, or sometimes hurting yourself. When you stay in situations, right? When you stay in situations, whether it's a friendship, a relationship, whether it's with family members, and you take all the things that they're letting out, you know what I'm saying? You take all their pain, you take all their hurt, and you just being that person for them to listen to, you realize, like, okay, what am I getting out of this? And I'm not saying it's bad to just be a listener, and you shouldn't just talk to people to get something out of it. However, sometimes people burdens become your own burdens if you allow them. And I've seen many times in my life where I let other people's burdens, I let other people's sadness, I let other people's feelings shape how I'm feeling. I'm not thinking for myself first. I'm too busy stuck in my emotions. I'm too busy letting them control how I feel. And I know there's plenty of people that do that. And what I want to say to that is, hey, take a step back, look at your life, look at the problem, look at the person, and be like, is this healthy for me? Am I getting anything out of this? And I'm not saying, like I said, I'm not trying to say that everything you're supposed to take. Nah, sometimes you're supposed to give. Sometimes you're supposed to be that friend that just sits there and listen. However, if it's all the time and there's no back and forth with it, or there's no, hey, what about me? Then, hey, man, maybe you need to take a step back, look at life. Isolate yourself, because you find a lot of good things in isolation, and just keep on moving forward. Maybe you decide, hey, I'm going to keep talking to this person. I'm going to keep being there for them, but I might not have to be there all the time. I might have to set a boundary. I might have to make sure that I'm not helping them out to the point where I'm forgetting about myself. So that's one way you can think with your heart and not your mind. You're too busy helping others that you're not helping yourself. You're people pleasing. Another way that your heart can be in front of your mind is when it comes to this bread, when it comes to money. You hear a lot of rappers nowadays say, like, get out your feelings and get in your bag. You know what I'm saying? And I love that statement. You know what I'm saying? I really do. Because there was a long time in my life where I was in my feelings. I told y'all I've been smoking weed for a long time. I quit recently. But when I was smoking weed, I'm going to flip this because it's light. But when I was smoking weed, I was in my feelings. I was spending a lot of money on things that didn't matter because I didn't know how to live without it. I didn't know how to cope myself. I was in my bag. I was in my wrong bag, not my money bag, not that chicken bag, but I was in my emotional bag. And what I have to say to that is, guys, you got to get out of that. Now, I know this isn't for everybody. There's a lot of people out there making that money. There's a lot of people out there on the right path doing what they got to do, get into that chicken bag. But I will say there's people out there who are like me. People out there who have so much shit on their mind and on their heart, in their heart and their emotions, that isn't solved, that hasn't been fixed, that hasn't been looked at, that has been clouded in their judgment in every other way in their life, especially in that money, you know? And if you're not spending money on, drugs, trying to make yourself feel better, you spending it on clothes so that you can stand out in the crowd. You know what I mean? You're spending it on bullshit things that society deems as amazing. Society deems as, oh, you're cool if you wear the Fear of God. You're cool if you wear the Gucci. You're cool if you wear, I don't know these brands like that, but you guys know what I mean. What I gotta say to that is, that's not true. Yeah, that shit looks nice, but you don't gotta have a $200 shirt or $300 pair of shoes just to feel like a cool guy. One person that I look up to is J. Cole. And if you look at J. Cole, yeah, he's rich, but that man still rides his bike throughout New York. That man not dripped up in like the finest things. That man doesn't have 1,000 chains on his neck. And that's why I respect J. Cole. Because he's richer than a lot of these guys that I know. And a lot of these guys who are my age. And he's not doing that drip, trying to look cool shit. Instead, he just dressing in casual wear, got his sweats on, got his hoodie on, and just living life. He spends his money on things that actually matter, ways that can better him, not the material things, not the things that, oh, you look cool doing, or oh, you look cool in that. There's a lot of guys out here who are fake rich. There's a lot of girls out here who are fake rich. And this isn't no diss. I'm not a hater. I really ain't. If you doing that shit, man, that's good for you. If you like it, that's cool. But what I'm trying to say is, don't buy all these expensive clothes and expensive things just so that you can fit in. Because fitting in is stupid. You're not supposed to be meant to fit in. You're supposed to be different. For a while in my life, I thought I had to fit in. That's why another reason why I was smoking all that weed. Because everybody I knew did it. And I was just trying to make sure I fit in, and I was doing what the crowd was doing. There was a point in my life where I wanted to buy a bunch of Jordans. I wanted to buy the most expensive hoodie. But then I realized, am I doing it for me or am I doing it for everybody else? I'm thinking with my emotions just because I want to fit in. I'm thinking with my emotions just because I don't want to lose friends if I stop this weed smoking. If I was thinking with my mind back then, just like I'm thinking with my mind now, I would have been like, nah, I don't need that to feel cool. Or nah, I don't need this to fit in. I'll find my own crowd. I fit in with myself. I fit in with God. I ain't the most religious person, but I know me and God have a close relationship. I talk to him every day. So it's like, hey, man, eventually, if you do the things you know you need to do, once you get out of your emotional bag and get in that money bag, a lot of things will change. And this is coming from somebody who don't got a lot of money right now. I told y'all I'm gonna be 100% honest with y'all. I'm at the beginning. I'm at the bottom right now. However, I know if I stick to what I'm doing, if I stick to my guts, if I keep going with my mind and not my emotions, then I can get in a better place. I can show y'all how nice it is to think with your mind and to veer away from the crowd, to not be in your emotional bag all the time. So look, man, I'm not gonna make this long. I'm gonna finish it out by basically saying it's okay to be emotional. It's okay to think with your heart. But you just gotta make sure your heart's not controlling everything in your life. Because if you allow your heart to control everything in your life, one, you're always gonna get let down. There's gonna be moments where you're like, what the hell is happening? It's because you're never going to be fitting in. You're never going to be perfect. When you try to fit in, you don't feel like yourself. So something's going to be missing. And your mind, your subconscious mind is going to tell you that. It's just on you whether or not you're going to believe it and do the things you need to do to get out of that situation. But two, it's okay to be emotional. You know, it's okay. But you got to make sure that that mind is just as strong. It's just as powerful. You feel me? So look, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. If you finished this video, if you watched it this long, you're the best. All right, next time on Leaks Legacy, I promise you I'm gonna have a good video. I don't know if y'all can hear my roommates talking right now, but I'm gonna wrap up the video, you know what I'm saying? So until next time on Leaks Legacy, I appreciate all y'all. I love all y'all. Deuces.